that will kick off very soon. Our Macarthur Playground, which is our new inclusive playground, continues. I have plans to add an additional segment to that if the board of directors approves that in the coming weeks, so that we'll grow the size of that to over $1 million playground. We also just finalized 3 maintenance contracts. So as you might go around and see our parks from a maintenance standpoint, we have been a little behind. The grass is growing faster than we can cut it right now, and that's because we're lacking staff. And also our contracts expired in March, and we're negotiating new contracts as we speak, and we'll be taking those to the board for final approval as soon as possible as well. That's a big accomplishment for us for our maintenance side of the department. And then also our Western Hills Playground. So we have a master plan there of about $1.5 million. And we're starting on the playground and pavilion and other aspects of that project. And then we'll bid out some trail improvements and parking lot improvements there later this year. So that will be our last big tax from our last tax campaign, our last big tax expenditure. And there's several other projects, but I won't get into all those at this time. But those were just our kind of higher up projects and accomplishments since we last met. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to go into questions.
Questions, comments? Okay, Director Couch, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other areas to discuss before we move on? Okay, very good. So the next item up on the agenda, old business, the 2022 Commission Golf Tournament. So let's turn next to Commissioner Eldridge, who we all know has been working very hard to get this up and going, for an update. So Commissioner Eldridge.
So this is next Friday. And I think what we really could use some help with is just spreading the word and getting your buddies to sign up, register for a team. It's a really laid back event. And so if you could just reach out to friends and family who might be interested in playing around a golf next Friday, I think that would be great to just pack the course as much as we can and get our message out. I was on the buzz this morning talking about it, and I'm going to be on KARK next week promoting it as well. So hopefully that'll garner some recognition and registrations. If you want to help work the tournament, we'll be there all Friday. So from around 7 until we shut down, we can use help with the registration, signing teams in as they come in. Most people will probably pay the day of, so we'll probably need somebody stationed to take credit card payments and possibly hand out goodie bags. If the day is nice, it's a fun day to be out there and kind of celebrate and see, everybody that comes to play and has a good time. I brought some flyers today for the people that are here and may know small businesses that they can reach out to and maybe just kind of post the flyer in the window just to, again, get the word out. And for those of you who aren't here, I can send a PDF of that to you as well. And I can send a PDF to everybody so that they can shoot it to their friends, email it, post it on Facebook, anything to kind of get the message out. We're going to have some really fun prizes from around the city just to highlight the city because it is a city tournament. And we're going to have some fun experiences to offer. Easy Go is going to put a golf cart out on a hole so that if you happen to make that hole in one, you win the golf cart. So that's kind of a fun added value factor. But all in all, it's a fun day. And, I think that our vision for the next, 3 to 5 years is to just kind of increase the awareness of this tournament and hopefully make it, a bigger deal for the city. Put it on the map, put it on the calendar for people every year as an annual tournament that they can go to and have a lot of fun at. This morning on the buzz, the biggest thing that the guys on the buzz seemed to really cling on to was the fact that the beverages on the course were free. So that's an added bonus as well, apparently, because beer at the PGA golf tournaments cost $18 a pop. So we're a very affordable tournament. And again, you know, if you're talking to small businesses and trying to either get them interested in sponsoring or just having a team registered, the money that we're raising from this tournament, you know, and the hope is that it'll do this every year. And I think it's an opportune time for the tournament to then turn the proceeds into a summer opportunity, is we're going to try and, you know, create a fund that the summer playground program or the summer kids programs can use, maybe at our discretion. I think there's, you know, we're hammering the details out on that, but at the end of the day, you know, we're hoping that this money can go into towards the kids programs and activities that are highly needed during the summer for kids who don't have, you know, another place to go to, and we're trying to offer them something safe and fun as an alternative for their summer vacation. So if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to me, and again, I'll send this flyer out. And if you do get people interested, you can email me their teams. It's a very low key. I'm putting together a list of all the people who are signing up, and again, we're trying to take the money. Most of it will be taken on the day of the tournament, so it should be pretty easy for people to sign up.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Aldridge, for all your help on that. I know it's a lot to do, so appreciate you volunteering to take that on. If I may, to follow up on what Commissioner Eldridge was talking about, volunteers. So let me now speak to all of the commissioners here present. We've got 6 of us total. And I know many of you are new this year and new as of today. As you can tell, we don't have everybody here, but I would like to encourage each and every one of you. I will be there next Friday to assist Lauren in whatever capacity you need, however long you need that day. I know it is a Friday. I know it is a work day. If you are able to attend, please do plan to show up. We will need all hands on deck to support Lauren and the team to get this golf tournament pulled off. Don't know how long will be needed there. We'll turn to Lauren for that. Certainly the morning time will be the busiest, but if you can, maybe plan to stay as long as possible until Lauren turns us away. So please do plan for that if you can. Lauren and I were having a side conversation. Unless a better option comes along, Lauren and team will be partnering with City Parks Conservancy to take electronic payment for those who want to register day of. So we'll be glad to do that and have that there in addition to regular, I guess, or you're still going to take regular, I guess, cash and check payments.
Well, currently there are 2 options, and one is to mail a check in to the Parks and Rec address, and the other is a day of tournament payment. And we accept cash, but.
Got it. And in terms of, getting the word out, can't reiterate that enough. Now's the time. We've got a week and a half. So not only participants in the golf tournament, but also for sponsorships. I'm sure we still have some room there for people who want to sponsor.
Yes, and if I may, sponsorships are very affordable for this tournament. I mean, they're $250 to put a sign on the course at a particular hole, or it's $500 for a GPS location where your logo's on the GPS in the golf carts for 30 days. A $500 sponsorship also comes with the possibility of a team registration if somebody wants to add a team. It's no extra cost if you want to be a $500 sponsor. So I encourage any of y'all who have connections to local businesses to just reach out to them and say, hey, this is low-hanging fruit if you want to get your name out there, and it's for the kids. So who can say no to that?
And lastly, I know we did discuss this last month, but we did vote on the recreation organization will be the recipient of the funds from this golf tournament, and then at the appropriate time, once the monies are there, then Shawanda, I believe we all agreed that you'd come back and you'd ask for, the monies to be delegated to a certain program. I believe that's what we agreed on. So just a reminder on that part right there. So especially for our two newest members here, that's what we did agree upon. Any other questions or comments about the golf tournament for Commissioner Eldridge?
Great job.
Please do show up if you can. We will need the help. Lauren has put a lot of effort into this, and being able to support her on the day of would be very, very helpful. I'm certain of it. Okay, let's move on down the agenda. Appointment of committees. So I believe, according to the minutes last month, we decided that we were going to table committee appointments to this particular meeting. So I guess at this point, to those commissioners who were appointed and or volunteered to lead one of the three subcommittees that you see there, I do know that the first one listed, the Parks Conservancy Liaison, that was Commissioner Brasink, and unless he's joined us here late, I don't see him. I don't have an update from him on that. So let me turn next to the Outreach and Social Media Subcommittee, which is Commissioner Martinez. Any questions, comments, updates from you this month?
No updates. I guess I would just entertain if anybody is interested in joining Outreach and Social Media, speak up or let me know. And I think we were just going to try to take some volunteers to establish those committees today.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. And of course, with only 6 of our full 10 here today, we're probably going to be pulling double duty if you do want to sign up for one of these other commissions or subcommittees rather. So for our newest members, Commissioners Fletcher and Jennings, just to kind of bring you guys up to speed, if you don't already have, and I'm going to guess that Leland or Angela or somebody perhaps forwarded you a copy of the Parks Commission bylaws. If you don't have that, please let us know. These 3 subcommittees are built into the bylaws, and the intent for each of these subcommittees is to have meaningful interaction with the staff on these three points: Parks Conservancy, Outreach, Social Media, Master Plan, and Vision, and to assist staff with furthering those particular missions, answer questions, assist, volunteer in that capacity to help in some form or fashion. So that's the purpose of the subcommittees. Thank you, Commissioner Martinez, for that. Master Plan and Vision, that is Commissioner Smith. Any questions, comments, updates this month, Commissioner Smith?
No, not at this time. I have reached out to a couple of people, and I'll finalize it for the next meeting. And I can tell you that the other Commissioner Smith, Dustin Smith, is out of the state on vacation. But he's very excited about joining us. He is no relation, but he is a good friend of mine. So I'm glad to see him joining this group.
Very good. Thank you for that update, Commissioner Smith. Yes, again, we are looking, Commissioners Brasink, Martinez, and Smith, for all of the other commissioners who are here and not currently connected up with one of the subcommittees. If any of these 3 sound of interest to you or more, you can sign up for all 3 if you want to, for that matter. With the low numbers on our commission, I think that might be helpful to sign up to, again, assist to help further these committees with the staff. So I know Leland and others, once these committees kind of get up and going, will be more than happy to entertain questions, comments, take guidance and counsel that you guys can filter up. And then, of course, we'd love to hear from you on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, what kind of conversations have been had, what sort of improvements or counsel have been given, and so on and so forth.
Chair Bowie, the bylaws do say that the chair of each standing committee or temporary one, if there's a temporary committee that is established, shall appoint the members of such committees. So was that your plan today, to have the chair of these committees appoint their committee members? And then that appointment of committee members would need to be approved by the entire commission.
Okay, well, great question. I'm going to look at at our 2 commissioners who are currently assigned to a subcommittee, did you guys, and I'll start first with Commissioner Martinez, have you already reached out to some of the commissioners to talk about being appointed, or do you want to make an appointment today?
I have not, because I didn't think that I was allowed to be reaching out. Is that?
The reaching out outside of a meeting is a little,
Okay.
we might not do that.
Okay. How about
Because
this?
open meeting.
Would you like to appoint a commissioner or more than one commissioner to your subcommittee today?
I would like to. Would anyone like to wave at me and tell me how interested they are in doing that?
This is for outreach and social media.
Yes.
I'll join,
Awesome.
but I think you have to appoint me.
Yes, I appoint you because you are interested. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Anyone else for the social outreach and social media committee? Right now we have Commissioner Martinez and Commissioner Eldridge. Anyone else interested in serving on that one? Okay. Counselor, are we able to, in the future, I suppose, when we have more attendance, are the subcommittee chairs able to appoint additional committee members during a meeting, a future meeting?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. That's for your information right there. Let me turn to Commissioner Smith on the master plan and vision. So, Commissioner Smith, would you like to appoint anyone to your committee today?
Yes, I would. So since we are all together and some of us are not, I would like to appoint Sam Ellis, Abby Jennings, and Dustin Smith to the master plan and vision.
Okay, so please let me make sure I heard that correctly. I may have missed the first name, but I for sure heard Abby Jennings and Dustin Smith.
And Sam Ellis.
Thank you. Okay, very good. Well, then, as Counselor's already said, the subcommittee chairs can appoint those commissioners, and so let's consider them appointed. So we're going to...
And afterwards, all of the appointments would need to be approved by the overall commission.
Got it. Understood. Okay, perfect. So we're talking about adding Sam, Abby, and Dustin to the Master Plan and Vision Subcommittee. Okay, very good. Thank you, Commissioner Smith. Well, let's see. Commissioner Brasink is not here today to talk about Parks Conservancy, and as the bylaws say, he would be the person to appoint people to that subcommittee. So I guess with him not here today, we'll look to perhaps get an update from him next month. But I can see from our list here, and I'm kind of looking around the room, that we might have some commissioners who may not be linked up to a committee. So we may have some of those appointments next month, rather. Okay. So let me not dally any longer. Apologies. So for today, Commissioner Martinez has appointed Commissioner Eldridge to Outreach and Social Media, and Commissioner Smith for Master Plan and Vision has appointed Commissioners Ellis, Jennings, and Dustin Smith. Okay, then following protocol, is there a motion to approve these subcommittee appointments as previously stated?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Martinez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Eldridge. All those, any further discussion on that before we take the final vote? Final discussion? No final discussion. Perfect. All right, all those in favor of the motion to appoint all of these members to subcommittees, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Great. Unanimous decision. These members are appointed to their subcommittees. Again, for the notes, Commissioner Eldridge will go to Outreach Social Media, and then Commissioners Ellis, Jennings, and Dustin Smith will be members of the Master Plan and Vision. We will have hopefully some appointments to Parks Conservancy next month to be determined.
I have a question for committees.
Yes.
Or this is for Beth. Beth, can the committees meet outside of this to discuss, or is it, I mean, when can
Yes, however,
you have to announce?
you're going to know the answer, the second part to this answer. Yes, committees can have committee meetings. That is considered an open public meeting because it's more than one commission member meeting. So you would need to notify the media of the committee meeting. I would do that within 2 hours of the meeting and notify the date, time, and place.
I would encourage us to figure out a way to do that so that if the commissioners wanted to meet, you know, we could, staff at parks could help facilitate that. Or
And we usually go through Spencer Watson. Is he the new PR?
Right.
And I believe that he goes through and notifies the media and goes through that process. So always
so
copy.
we could utilize him to help.
Yes, utilize Spencer Watson to make those notifications.
That'd be helpful. Thank you.
So the idea would be to have a subcommittee meeting outside of this normal monthly commission meeting, individual subcommittee meeting for Parks Conservancy outreach and then master plan to meet with you, Director Couch, and whomever on your staff that you would appoint to have further conversations, notifying the media of the date, time, and place at least 2 hours in advance.
Yes. And in the past, when there have been committee meetings, some of them have occurred right before, like within an hour before the regular commission meeting. I don't know how feasible that is, but in the past when we have had, excuse me, those committee meetings, they've occurred right before the regular commission meeting.
Great idea.
Yeah, I just only asked that because I realize that nobody's going to have any actual time within this meeting to actually discuss anything. So it doesn't have to be with myself or with staff. It could be, they could get together for lunch and have a meeting about social media, say, something easy as that. But I realize, I just wanted to make sure it was clear that we do have to notify. But
Yes, thank you.
But it's a clear process. Just, yeah, okay.
Attorney Carpenter, are there also minutes and things required for those, or?
That is a great question. Minutes, yes, I would recommend that. I believe that also, and I don't have the statute right in front of me, but public meetings are required to be recorded. So that's an excellent question. Committee meetings would need to be recorded because that is a public open meeting, and minutes should be taken.
Clarification on the recording part. Is that audio only, audio and video?
I would do that. How is this one being recorded? Is it through the WebEx?
I'm going to turn to Angela and Angie.
It is. I don't have that statute in front of me, but I would be safe and make sure you've got an audio recording, most definitely. Video just adds another layer to it. You have to record in a manner that it can be maintained by the city.
Okay. Thank you for that information. Good to know. Commissioner Martinez, thank you for that question right there. Commissioner Smith, did you have any comments or questions about subcommittee meetings here?
No, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All good? All good? Perfect. Okay, then let's thank you everybody for that information on the committees. Looking forward to hearing more about those in the near future. Next item on the agenda, new business. Hey, we have 3 new commissioners. Yay. Thank you guys for joining the commission. I know we have 2 of you here today. Thank you very much. We've got Commissioner Fletcher here and Commissioner Jennings online with us. So thank you guys for being willing, first of all, to serve your city, but also to serve on this particular committee. I'm sure there were lots of people in play who helped get you guys on. So thank you to all of those, some of you who may remain anonymous or not. So thank you for being here. I did reach out to each of you individually just to say hello myself personally. And I would actually like, and we'll follow the list here. So Commissioner Fletcher, give us 60 seconds. Who are you? Why are you here? And how are we going to look forward to partnering with you?
All right. Yeah, happy to be here. Our family lives in Miss Peck's ward. Yeah, okay. Well, I haven't met you, so I didn't want to be rude. But just near Reservoir Park. We're in the parks all the time with 2 younger children. And our business is sports-centric, primarily tennis, some basketball and pickleball now, but we do surfacing, planning for people, lighting, etc. And then before that, I used to be a CPA, got really tired of it pretty quick, got my MBA, worked for a S&P 500 company up in St. Louis in plans and programming for that, and then started this company, so about a decade ago. So just looking forward to get plugged in a little bit, and we're in the parks all the time. We do some stuff with Leland and the crew at the Parks and Rec. Just we're familiar with it somewhat, so just wanted to get plugged in a little bit more and understand the things that we don't handle, just in general how it all goes, and we're always happy to see new stuff at the parks. So.
Great. Thank you very much, Commissioner Fletcher. Let's turn next to Commissioner Jennings. A few words from you. Tell us about yourself there.
Thank you. It's nice meeting everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there in person last minute. I'm Abby Jennings. I'm originally from Mississippi, and I moved to Little Rock 10 years ago to attend the Clinton School of Public Service, and I've been here since. I live in downtown Little Rock in the Quapaw Quarter with my husband and 3-year-old, and we go to the parks all the time. I'm really proud of what Little Rock has done with the parks, especially for our families in our city. And I just wanted to kind of give back to the community and serve. And when I was looking at the available commissions, this was my #1 choice. So I'm glad to be here, and let me know how I can serve.
Thank you, Commissioner Jennings. Again, it's an honor to have you both here today. Again, thank you all for serving. Really appreciate you being here, and looking forward to partnering with you guys as we move forward. We have been suffering a bit on attendance of late, so we're glad to have 2 new members. I think we still have 1 perhaps open slot, and we may need to revisit attendance again to kind of see if there's perhaps maybe a second opening. But I would like to see us get to the full complement of 11 as quickly as possible, because we have been talking way too long, and I'm guilty of this too, about doing things as a commission, and we haven't really been able to do that. So or we just haven't done that, and maybe I'm to blame for that. But now that we've got folks that are here and present, let's start to think about how we can do things to further improve our Parks and Recreation in conjunction with Director Couch and his team. So we'll look forward to hearing from Commissioner Smith, Dustin Smith, hopefully next month. Now, looking at our time here, we are going to move to the next agenda item here, and that is we're so lucky to hear from Karen Sykes, who is a Park Ranger Volunteer Programs Coordinator. So Karen's going to be here to tell us a little bit about what she does and how we might, as a commission, be able to plug in and help.
Thank you. How are y'all today? Good. It's good to see you. See some familiar faces, and definitely not a lot of new faces. So yes, I am Karen Sykes. I hope you are happy to have me here, like you said. I am the Volunteer Programs Coordinator for the City of Little Rock, and I directly manage Adopt a Park, Adopt a Trail, Adopt a Flower Bed programs, along with the Volunteer Park Ranger program and the Junior Park Ranger program, which I created 7 years. And I have been with Parks and Rec for 7 years now, as of April 6th. But before I get started, I want to say one thing that wasn't mentioned. The Mac Park, they had their race. And Parks and Rec had a team that consisted of Greg, who supervises this, his subordinate, Clark, who's his subordinate, Sam Ellis, one of the commissioners, and myself, and we won the corporate cup. Yay. So we got the Doogie, which is the bust of Douglas MacArthur. So that'll be sitting somewhere in Parks and Rec. If you happen to cruise through, you can take a picture with it. No. And on a proud side note, I came in 3rd for my age division. Okay, So I'm here to talk about music in the park. So I'm excited, and I want to say thank you, Leland, for letting me do this. This is a two-part series. The first one's coming up June 3rd, War Memorial Park, 4 to 7:30. The second one is in Alsip Park, Thursday, October 6th. And that coincides with Hillcrest first Thursday. And if you're not familiar with that, in Hillcrest on the first Thursday, they stay open late, the businesses do, and people hang out in the street, and there's a band here, a band there, and I'll get a little bit more into that. But that's what happens on that Thursday, and that's why I picked that date. So I'm going to put a band on home plate in Alsip Park. All right, so my programs are not part of the general budget. So I have created a fun fundraiser called Music in the Park. So when I started this about 7 years ago, this job, there were just a handful of parks adopted, maybe a couple of flower beds adopted by the master gardeners. And when I started, I increased volunteerism my first year by 44%. And as of today, we have 38 combined park trails and flower beds adopted. And just this week, Panky got adopted. So, of course, that means, we need to provide some funds for these volunteers, such as, tools, the litter grabbers, flowers, just whatever they need. It would be nice to be able to provide every client they have with just some water, things like that, maybe little snacks if possible. So, and then we also have a banquet, which we haven't had in the last couple of years because of COVID. So hopefully we'll be able to bring that back this fall, but that's still debatable at this point in time. And so for these things, I'm doing this fundraiser. So Music in the Park. It's the festival feel. It is vendors, it is food trucks, it is beer vendors, and it is two bands on one stage. So the opening band is the On-Call Band. It's an R&B band out of Pine Bluff. They play R&B cover tunes. They're really good. The second band is Sad Daddy, and they are an Americana roots band. They play basically like some bluegrass, and they've been named one of the top 12 bands to watch out for in 2022 by the Nashville Scene. And Dolly Parton has taken notice of them as well. She has put one of their songs on a bluegrass playlist on Spotify. So they tour around a lot, and they are going to be there as well. We've also done a special outreach to nonprofits in order to connect nonprofits together to help grow their membership, to help grow their volunteerism, and just to help overall branding. When I started this, I got an email from the mayor's office where a junior at PA had contacted them and wanted to start like a nonprofit type conference. So they forwarded it to me, and I was like, hey, this is perfect timing. I'll just plug you in with this, and you can be my nonprofit coordinator. So her name is Maylee Rollins, and she has been working on this with me since the beginning, and she's very excited to be doing this and helping out. So we have probably about 35 overall vendors who have applied. The deadline is tomorrow, and then after that, payment is due about May 25th. The outreach that we've done, so this is the first one, right? So we're not real sure on the numbers because it's free to the public, but we're not quite sure, how many people are going to be there since we're not selling tickets. But I have reached out directly to the communications director of UAMS, St. Vincent's, and Arkansas Department of Health. I put, of course, flyers up around town. We're starting a partnership with KUAR, who's going to start a week-long campaign with us. I've talked to John Kane yesterday at 88.3, And then I've also reached out to our radio station at West Central to start running some ads as well. Of course, we have social media everywhere, which includes Nextdoor, and that's 52,000 followers. And then I have a database of 1,200 volunteers that I reach out to when I need things. So I'm excited about getting this off the ground and what all it can become. Because it would be nice for us to have music in different parks. It may not be a full festival like this one is going to be. It may be more like an Ossup Park where we have, that's actually Sam's band, concert format. They're going to play that October 6th in that home plate. We'll have, a couple of food trucks and like that, but it's not going to be as big as this one. But I would like to do that too around different parks, take it to the community and just have fun, right? We are also going to have a VIP tent, and we will have complimentary food by Dr. Robert Williams, who is one of my volunteer park rangers. He will be there with his big grill, cooking barbecue. Some of you might know him. And then we will also have beverages by Lost 40, by Diamond Bear, by Pepsi, and Aretha's beverages. And while I'm thinking about it right now, and since Linda's on here, Central Arkansas Water is providing water for the volunteers. So I appreciate that partnership that we started with them a couple of years ago when Jane Hurley reached out to me. So that is what we are doing. Any questions?
Karen, remind us of those dates again.
Okay. The first one is June 3rd, War Memorial Park, 4 to 7:30. And then October 6th, Ossup Park, 5 p.m.
Until
Oh, we haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay. Very good.
But I hope y'all can come out and join us. We'd love to have you there.
Great. Any more questions?
Any more?
For Karen? Questions, comments? Thank you, Karen, for all you do. You do a lot for the parks that I know you don't get a lot of credit for. At least maybe you should get a lot more credit for what you're doing.
I appreciate
Thank
that.
you for that. All right, very good.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you, Karen, for that. Much appreciated. Moving on, looking at our time, we've got about 8 minutes left. Quickly, agenda items for next meeting. Any agenda items that we need to go ahead and plan for outside of the normal agenda items?
I'd like to make a recommendation.
Yes, please.
To talk about efforts to promote the bond issue. We passed at the board meeting last night, and I'll talk about it, but I think we need to all become cheerleaders and really make sure that that passes on August 9th.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Because there's a chunk of money for parks.
I completely agreed. So let the record state that we'll have an agenda item next month to talk about the bond issue. So thank you very much for that. Did you have one that you wanted?
I would like to add a new agenda item to introduce a social for the commission. Maybe it's a 1 year, like half year and an end of the year type program. And yes, we'll do the advertisements and everything, but something more casual where we could get together and get to know each other a little bit, as well as understand people.
It's a great place where we could do that.
Right. So if we could bring that up and then maybe finalize that in terms of a date and time and how we're going to go about organizing that, that'd be great.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So that's 2 new agenda items that I suppose we can fit under new business next month. So talking about the bond issue and then talking about a commission social. So we'll have those 2 under new business next month. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
I'd also like to add, similar how we had invited Karen, it was my intention to continue to always introduce a new staff member and what they're doing. And so I would like to have another presentation next month as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, unless anybody disagrees, I don't know that we have to vote on it, but I think a standing agenda item for this sort of thing would be nice to have. Yeah, that'd be great. Perfect. Anybody else? Okay.
One
yes.
thing I'd like to add, and it's sorry tennis-centric, not being a shill, but there is a ATP, so that's the men's professional tour. There's a tournament starting the 30th. The qualifiers, I think, are free, but it's over at Rebsamen. Just like hit a tennis ball and you're there. I was looking at it with my son. He's a tennis nut, but this is like minor leagues for tennis, like minor league baseball, like AAA. This is the only tournament of this size, like in the South. Like you have to go to Atlanta. The Memphis tournament that was a professional level shut down. So Dallas has a tournament that's much bigger now, but the other tournaments around the globe, the same week as us, are Italy, in Forlì, in Great Britain, Czech Republic, and Poland. So, I mean, it's
a big deal.
There's a lot of people looking at this, not just sports bettors, which there's a lot of those, but there's a lot of people that actually watch. They live cast the tournament. I mean, it's a unique opportunity for a city of this size, or really any city, to get to, promote themselves. So I'd highly recommend going out. Some of the guys that were there last year have been in all the Grand Slams since. I mean, it's a stepping stone for people to, get to the next level.
What was that date again?
May 30th, and I think it ends the 6th of June. So,
May 30th, okay.
yeah, it's a week long.
Okay. Very good.
It's really easy to go to, and I mean, even if you don't like tennis, I may recommend stopping by.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for passing that along. Greatly appreciate that. You didn't intend that to be an agenda item for next month's meeting, just more of a notification? Okay, perfect. Nope, good to know, just making sure.
Yeah, that's a good opportunity to add that to our outreach and social media committee, and maybe there's an opportunity there for that committee to, get some social media going for that kind of event.
Yeah,
good idea.
I think it's Baptist as the main sponsor. It's a little confusing to me who owns it and all that, but I mean, it's definitely...
It's a super big event for us. We've been working on the facility for several months, getting it ready every year, and we're updating 7 courts. I think it's 7, resurfacing 7 courts, and landscaping and lights on the facility and lights interior and all kinds of good stuff. But I appreciate you bringing it up, and I didn't really understand that it was that big a deal in terms of worldwide, like you mentioned. So that's great.
Yeah, it's the guy who won it last year has been top 10 before. So I mean, it's
very good.
Good players. So
I would say the same about the people who play in my golf tournament every year, but that's not true.
All right, so I think we've got the agenda items for next month set, so let's yield the rest of the time to Director Peck for board liaison feedback.
Thanks for the 3 minutes. Y'all leave me last because I can talk too much. I know it's intentional. I don't hold that against you, but whatever. So the bond, first of all, congrats to Leland. I'm so happy that you're the director, and you're going to do an awesome job. You already are, and I could not be more delighted. And Commissioner Bowie, so do we have 2 or 1 vacancy still on the commission?
Well, I believe we for sure have 1 vacancy. We may perhaps have 2. I'll need to get with Angela and Ricardo to look at the attendance to confirm that second one.
Okay. And I just want to very quickly say, I don't want anybody to be discouraged about lack of attendance. I think all city boards and commissions are struggling right now because of the pandemic, because of the option to attend virtually, and we're not the only one. It's citywide, so don't feel like we're not loved and important. It's happening everywhere. But I'm anxious to get a really energized group back, and welcome to Martinez. Ms. Martinez, this is your 2nd meeting, but right? Right. So looking forward for everybody to be here, and we'll all be on the same page. So I'm an official parks cheerleader. And one thing that I'm pretty proud of is this bond issue that is coming up. The board approved it to be on the ballot on August 9th. It will be the only item on that ballot. And we were successful. I worked with some of my colleagues to get a little bit more money for parks. This will not be for new parks. Some of my colleagues were very adamant about that. Some think we have perhaps too many parks. but it would apply to trails, parks, infrastructure, just a lot of it deferred maintenance that we have not kept up with over decades and decades. So there will be 6 ballots, so an individual could vote it up or down each one. It's streets, drainage, fire equipment, new courts building, Little Rock Port, and then parks, which also includes the zoo. We were very specific to not increase the zoo portion, nothing against the zoo, but 10% more for parks. So I think it is incumbent upon us to really get out and be cheerleaders for these 3 mills. It's not a lot of money. Everybody will be happy to tell you how much they love our park system. We got to pony up, and I think we should be ponying up even more. And that's the last thing I want to talk about. The 3/8 cent that we were unsuccessful with, I would look for that to come back next year, because there are several of us on the board that feel it is absolutely critical that we fund our park system. So that's going to come back, and I'm going to really rely on Parks Department, the commissioners, to help us push that through. If we get it on the ballot, the people will support it. You know, parks don't fail. We just got to get it on the ballot, and that might take some work with some of my colleagues on the board. And that's about it. And Lauren, thank you for your hard work. If you'll send me a PDF, I'll post it at the restaurant, and I'll push it out on my social media. Karen, you too. You know, I'm pretty active on social media, and I'll help push that out. Thanks to all of y'all for serving.
Thank you.
It's 101. I talk fast.
No, thank you, Director Peck, for your comments, and to the commissioners who are here in person. You heard the direction, and of course those of you online as well. You heard the direction from Director Peck. So I think we have our marching orders to continue to be cheerleaders. I know you guys will as well. So thank you very much for your partnership and your leadership as it relates to parks. And please forgive me, I didn't read my newspaper this morning. Congratulations. Thank you for saying that to you, right? Is that what we were saying? You're official now?
No, it's official, but it was some time ago.
I thought it was official. Well, anyway, I tried to keep a secret for a long time.
Okay.
But anyway, we're happy.
I am official.
All right. Okay, very good. He's official.
I thought he looked different today.
Yeah. Do I look more stressed now?
No, but you do have on a jacket. We've all noticed. Yeah. You got the uniform on.
Right.
All right, very good. Thanks, everybody. We are just a couple minutes over. That's not too bad, given that we started a couple minutes too late. Do see your agenda there, the time and place for the next meeting, Wednesday, June the 8th. We are scheduled to meet here again. Lastly, just a reminder, like Director Peck was saying, with all the hard work that Lauren's put into the golf tournament, please, commissioners, everybody, please, if you can, be there in person a week from this coming Friday at Rebsamen Golf Course. I believe, Lauren, as early as 7 a.m. if possible, and plan to stay as long as you can. We still need teams and sponsors. And last but certainly not least, a big thank you to Angie and Angela for getting us set up in this nice little area where Kathy and her colleagues normally meet every time.
For hours and hours.
For hours and hours. Okay. All right, guys.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, of course.
So after the golf tournament, because I think this is important, because a lot of the board, they're not really familiar about what Parks does, and I think that's going to be very important as we go forward with the 3/8 and with the bond issue. So I would love Lauren to come and give a report after the tournament and designate where the funds are going. I mean, I really think a lot of my colleagues don't get that. And if I had been a little bit smarter, I would have gotten you on the agenda, you know, a couple of weeks ago to stir up some enthusiasm and energy. But Leland, I don't know about you, but I think we need to really publicly report those things out.
Yeah, I agree. So
okay.
Whenever we can be invited to the board, you know, I mean, the only time I get to come is when I'm introducing a request for funding. So if there's some other way to do that.
Yeah, I think I can get people on the agenda. I think that's pretty easy. I did want to say, I'm so sorry, I'll be so quick, about the bond issue. So the way this is going to work is there will be ward-specific meetings in the 7 wards of the city, at least 2 per ward, and we'll talk about things like what street project, what drainage project, what park project is most important to you. So it will be really important for all the commissioners to go to their ward meetings and speak about parks. Or even, it doesn't have to be just your ward. I mean, for instance, Ward 5, there are no parks in West Little Rock. I think Rock Creek's the only park, right?
There's a few others. Birchwood, which is right there on Rock Creek Parkway.
But essentially, they're not a lot.
Essentially, yes.
But I think that as parks commissioners, it's going to be really important for you all to educate yourself and talk about your neighborhood parks. You know, if you love Reservoir, if you want to see some new bleachers there, we've been talking about that a little bit. But to communicate your desires and wishes as parks commissioners for what you want to see the bond money going to do to our existing parks and trails.
I'd like to add to that. I think in the past, if I might be wrong, but I think in the past the park commissioners wrote a letter of support to the board in certain instances like this. So, you know, maybe the board, I mean, the commissioners could do that if y'all
Collectively, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Director Couch, I believe that was the War Memorial Heineman situation, and I think that there was a letter that was sent from Chair Gibson. But I think the whole Parks Commission voted on that item.
Right.
So if it's from the commission and signed by the chair, this would need to be
a vote
by the commission.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the age-friendly commission is doing individual. Each commissioner is sending a letter to the board. So.
That's certainly an option as well.
Okay, good to know. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's make that happen.
That's up to you.
I'm for it. Anybody
Just
else?
do it. Just do it.
I'm just going to do it. That's it.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, Beth.
No. That's quite all right. Okay. Thank you very much for your comments and your guidance and your counsel. Sounds like you're on the hook for a board meeting coming up soon to talk about the golf tournament. So
Yes, I'm happy to do it.
We'll let it happen first.
Collect data and that we can disseminate.
And then designate the recipient. I just think we need to do a better job of letting the board know what we do, because they don't know.
Great idea. So when we do have the money situation figured out and we do have that, then we'll get with you and then you can make some recommendations on how we can divert that money to whatever programs that you recommend to us, which we'll vote on as we talked about in our last meeting. So once we have all that information, then you'll be on the hook for reporting. Okay, very good. All right, folks. Thank you very much again. 7 minutes past. No worries that their meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for being here.
I know y'all leave me last on purpose. Oh, that's okay. My feelings aren't hurt.
That was not the intent.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you.